Welcome back, everyone, to Pop Off the Clock Season 3, or I don't know how to say it in French, Season 3. Trois. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Yoseline. Yes, it is 2025, and we're starting off, you know, a good time. We're still within the first 2 weeks of the year. We took off some weeks because we had lots of...
You all were on holiday, and so were we, kind of.
Yeah, we deserved it too, kind of. We were still at work, but
we gave ourselves the gifts of no episode last week.
The gifts of not staying too late, and we just wanted to start off 2025. There's lots of going on. I'm so excited. Season 3, it's... I think we're to a good start. A lot of celebrity headlines.
It's not like we're not going to do anything different. I just wanted to...
No.
It's just like starting the new year with the new season.
Yeah, and I think it's just like easier to keep track of, to log, and to just like, I don't know, like administratively.
Nice.
You just like how when you say season 3.
Like it's a TV show, you know, you always see like a new well, you won't see anything new. Reiterating that, but it doesn't matter because you'll see us, and it's a new season of our lives and a new season of your life. It's 2025. Let's see how this year goes. But you know, we haven't seen you in probably 2 weeks, I think. So Yos, how was your holidays?
You know what? They were awesome, honestly, to be honest with you. I had so much fun with friends. I mean, New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, New Year's Day. I worked all those holidays, but I still had plans to be with like friends and celebrate the holidays. So that was really nice. I got some cool gifts, so I can't complain about that. And what else? I really do feel like I took a break, but I didn't take a break.
Yeah, you didn't have like days off. You held the fort down for us this year.
It kind of happens when you're the boss, right? Unfortunately.
It does.
And then you took some days off?
I took a week off, which felt so nice. I think I was like all year, I didn't really take like a full time off, so it felt really nice to like...
I'm gonna say that's false, but it's okay.
Is it? Yeah. Did I take a full week off? I don't remember. But it felt like nice to just kind of, you know, be home.
I think it's different during the holidays, though. I will say, I think it's like your mindset of, it's not like, oh, let me take 2 days off and it ends up being a weekend. It's just like taking a week off on a holiday winter break.
Yeah, like a Monday through Friday off.
It takes you off, like takes me back to the school, like when you had no responsibility and you could just sleep in and do nothing because you like stayed locally, right?
Yeah, I stayed in town. I just kind of did stuff that I had like a list of things that I wanted to do. So I think I did 4 of the list, which was like 12 things to do. So maybe like 40% of the list I did. I saw like 3 different TV series, which it's been a long time since I've watched a lot of TV. I saw, I finished Squid Game Season 2. That was pretty good. I thought it was a good season. I know it's been like mixed reviews on that one. I saw the show Blackbird. I've heard good things about it.
That's a great one.
It was good. I was like, it kind of was a slow start for me, and then like it ended, and I'm like, I want more. And then I started watching the show Traitors. It's on Peacock. It's really, really good.
I want to start that.
It's a really good show, honestly. Yeah. Tonight, Thursday, they're starting season 3.
So you watched 1 and 2.
I'm on season 2 right now. I'm halfway through it.
As someone who wants to start it because it looks good.
Season 2 is better.
Okay, should I start from season 2 or just season 1?
You can start from season 2, but it's nice to see how they've changed. They make little changes here and them from how they structure the game and like how they tackle certain things. But I definitely would say season 2 cast is really good. It has Phaedra in it, and she's like, I can understand why she did Dancing with the Stars. I think it was after Traitors because she like was a breakout like in the cast. So
did you see who's for season 3?
Yeah, I saw Gabby Wendy's on there, and I heard that she's like, people are like, she's gonna be a breakout from that cast.
So I saw Gabby, and I don't know if it was Nikki or Nikki Bella and Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
And he walks in, and they're like, we're not talking to him.
Oh, absolutely. I love that commitment, too. It's not even your drama. You're just like, I don't want to talk to them. I also went to the movies, saw Nosferatu, which we'll discuss later, and I saw the movie Baby Girl. I love that movie. It's been on my mind since I saw it. The soundtrack is incredible.
Oh, is it a good soundtrack?
It's a good soundtrack. Harris Dickinson has my heart right now.
You heard it here first.
But aside from that, yeah, I redecorated my home and it was a nice time.
It sounded like a good, productive Brenda week.
Yeah, it was really nice. I spent 2 days doing nothing though. I remember like kind of New Year's Eve and New Year's Day blended into each other because I was just sitting on the sofa all day.
We can't judge you for that. But no, I think it was a good wrap to 2024, and we're starting off 2025 strong. We're committed with pop, and
Yeah.
I think we're excited.
Absolutely, but there's a whole lot of headlines. Well, not a whole lot of headlines, but a lot of
good
juicy
ones.
topics.
Yes, and of course,
gonna talk
right
about.
when we dropped our last episode of the year, this whole Blake and
Justin Baldoni
Justin,
drama,
like the-
reignited.
reignited because she filed her complaint on Christmas Eve.
It was the week of.
Week of Christmas, like that Monday right before Christmas. So we had posted on Friday, and it was kind of like whoa. And then of course, so many things have happened. It's a lot, but we'll get into it. Not all of it, but the most recent stuff. Aside from that, we got some award show season has kicked off.
Exactly. And then a lot of engagements, but one big one. It's kind of like the American royal wedding, but it's kind of like American and British.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into those hot topics, but first, let's get into some headlines.
Yes, we're going to do just a quick recap. I'm going to start off with this because, unfortunately, we can't ignore that there are several fires in California and the Palisades area where I believe up to 6 right now. Unfortunately, as of right now, 0% containment. There's just weather that's playing a part. Not enough firefighters for so many fires happening at the same time.
Like looking through all the posts on social media. I mean, obviously, what people are talking about is the celebrities, but it's also like everyday people like you and me who are having their homes and destroyed, and you know. They don't have money like other people do, so it's just it's like really heartbreaking to be on social media and seeing.
Yeah,
what is
and
going
I
on
think the
over
reason
there.
we're kind of touching on this, and I'm going to list off some celebrities whose home have been burned down, and the reason why we named them, it's more not to make their situation more important than others, but I think to bring to light
scope
that
of just
the
how
scope of
bad.
if you think these people are untouchable and this is happening, can you imagine your average Joe? So, you know, among more than the 80,000 people displaced were celebrities, many of whom have called the area home for decades. Some including Leighton Meester and Adam Brody, Anna Faris, Ricky Lake, Carl Elwes, Cameron Matheson, Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montage have lost their homes. Many others are including Mario Lopez, Molly Sims, Kid Cudi, BB Rexa have shared that they have evacuated as the fires continue to spread. Due to that, we just mentioned award season has kicked off, and the next one is Critic Choice Awards, but that has been postponed due to the fires.
Yeah, also like Oscar nomination announcements, all of those things have been postponed because it's so bad. And I even saw like a fire right behind Universal Studios. I mean, it's gonna be, oh my gosh, it's so apocalyptic looking.
Yeah.
It's terrifying to see all that
And you
stuff.
just can imagine, like, there are so many valleys around Los Angeles County, and like just probably the smog that's building that thick layer. So
And all the animals.
and all the animals. It's just a lot going on over
Our
there.
hearts
so
are with you guys.
yeah, and if you're someone that's inclined to help, just, you know, American Red Cross is always a very reliable, incredible location to do that.
And I mean, based on this, there's going to be so many changes and so many things, so it'll probably be a developing story.
Especially,
for us.
like, I am assuming it would kind of, like, dip into people getting to work to, like, shoot shows.
No, I know, it's like halting
premieres.
productions, I'm sure.
Yeah, because all the people that work there are probably being affected by it. But we just wanted to put that out there first, and we'll get into other celebrity news that, you know, will hopefully help you get distracted from all the craziness happening in the world. So we're going through a lot of couple updates right now. So first off, we're starting off with Jessica Alba and Cash Warren. Their marriage hasn't just hit a rocky patch. They're about to call it quits with a divorce filing. That is TMZ reporting. Sources have told directly to TMZ, who have direct knowledge, that the couple recently separated and they're moving forward with divorce. Other media outlets like People, Us Weekly, they've picked up TMZ's report, and again, nothing has been officially filed. It's just a source says that they are separated and they're heading toward divorce. And
Not shocking to me.
really, it's been, I think they were together
12
for
years.
12 years.
Yeah. I mean, I think I read a quote somewhere, and I don't know if that's directly from her, if it was just like one of the sources say quotes where it said, I think their relationship was great in the beginning, but then eventually you just kind of get into the stage of being like roommates and just kind of being there to, I guess, see your kids like grow up and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't
So
know.
that's the first celebrity news we have. Second, we have Austin Butler and Kaya Gerber have kicked off the new year with a new relationship status. They're both single. TMZ is also reporting. Sources tell TMZ the couple ended their romance relationship around the end of 2024, which explains Austin's MIA status from Kaya's family trip to Mexico for the new year.
Like literally no one is shocked by this. I think I even said on here that they're probably broken up because
I think she was spotted with that guy from SNL.
Marcelo.
They weren't very like.
It was like a picture of them, right?
It was a picture. Nothing was like weird about their interaction, but it also comes into questions like why you're at the club without your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And
And I feel like he's just been he's always on set for something. So like
he like
maybe
hibernates to get into
busy.
character.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then
shocking.
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have reached a divorce settlement following an 8-year legal battle, according to her lawyer. The pair, who married in 2014 and have 6 children, were among the most high-profile couples in the entertainment industry and were dubbed Brangelina by the press. Thank God that's over.
It's crazy how long it takes to settle these divorces.
That's what happens when you have so much assets and this inkling to become one. Like,
To be an asset?
like if you have so many assets, but you're like, okay, let's buy a house. Let's just all throw our money in there. Now it becomes you, me. It's never like,
yeah.
hey, this is my house. Like, get your paperwork in order. Especially, I just don't get like people that have so much money, have so many assets. Like, don't contractually have like some little sub thing. Hey, if we get divorced, like this is what we're gonna do.
This is how we're gonna split it.
Or even if it's and you guys are in good terms, just be like, hey, I own 50% of the winery, you own 50%. If something happens, we either buy out each other or we have to sell. It's just so crazy. Like, you're so powerful and you
Just don't get married.
just don't buy anything. That's another one. And then after 5 months, after 5 months of filing for divorce, Jennifer Lopez split from ex-husband Ben Affleck is official, legally done and done.
So you see how theirs is like, and Brad and Angelina, I'm like, it's been years.
I think they were together.
Just because of all the legal drama that they have.
I think it's because they don't have children together. They probably didn't buy a lot of stuff together. I think they were just
living somewhere or living
Yeah,
at
like-
somebody's house or.
I think they bought one house. I'm kidding. They bought that house that Chip and Joanna like renovated for their special on HBO.
Oh, okay.
But I think they ended up selling it, and that was the only house they kind of bought together. Everything else was pretty like
They're just like, all right, bye.
yeah. I
That's
don't think they had a prenup, but I think it was very much like, hey, I made this, you made that, or there must have been some kind of agreement.
Dissolved.
Yes. And then we hadn't reported on this, but we're going to touch on it. Paige and Craig from the Bravoverse split up right after, well, they announced it right after Christmas, right before New Year's, but he is speaking out for the first time. Craig is saying that he's shocked, quotes, over the end of his relationship with Paige Sorbo after the Summer House star announced that they called it quits to their 3-year relationship. The Southern Charm is speaking out about his decision to go their separate ways. So he just said that he's still processing it and that he...
I never watched Summer House, but I recognize her because she has that podcast with the other girl, right? Yeah,
Giggly Squad.
I know a lot of people were super like shocked and sad, so I just want to know like what they were like because I want to be shocked and sad.
It was very much like Golden Retriever, him, Black Cat, her.
Okay.
Like she was fashion girl in New York, and he was like a Southern gentleman, like brought up, but he
wanted
lived-
her to move.
So
with
they
him, right?
never, okay, they always knew one of us has to move to make this work. But it was just so like, the one time she brought it up, she like cried. I'm not laughing because she's laughing, but it was just like, I feel like it was the first time they might have brought it up on camera, and she just broke down because you could just see her head like, I don't want to leave New York, like I don't want to leave my mom, like, and then that just broke her. And then he was just like, no, like it's okay. She's such a New York girl that I don't like. For her, Charleston is like vacation, but for him, honestly, I think in the beginning of the relationship, he was like, we'll make it work. And then towards the end, I think he was willing to move. He gave the vibes of like, due to our nature of our business, like I could
Probably
live in New
easier for me
York
to-
and I
yeah.
could just travel back and forth on my peak times for my businesses that are mostly in Charleston.
Oh, so he has businesses
So he's
there.
very niche Charleston, like souvenir shop, bar, like kind of like Tom and Tom. Like
okay.
if you go to Charleston, it's because you're a fan of like Southern charm. So he's capitalizing on that. So he has to take care of that business, but he was very open to that. I think it just came down to the conversation that he was ready to get married and have kids, and she was not there yet. Yeah, that's what I.
So summer house is when reality stars go to a house and.
So it started off with like Summer House, kind of like Jersey Shore, like
Yeah.
a cast of people ended up there. As the season progressed, they would invite other people to Summer House, like Craig and other people. So
Because he's from Southern Charm. Because I kept seeing people be like, oh, Paige should have gone with this other guy who best suited her lifestyle. And they're like, oh, somebody was like, I knew from the beginning it was going to work because they had different lifestyles.
Yeah,
but I don't know who that other guy is.
Yeah, so Summer House, the first season was like a brand new cast of like people living together during the summer. And then as the seasons progressed, they would invite like other cast people from other Bravo.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's just been
Sad
all
for you
over
guys. Yeah, it's been
TikTok.
all over the place.
Let's switch to happy news with some of the celebrity couples. We have Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster. They're stepping out together. The former Music Man co-stars enjoyed a low-key, laughter-filled night for a dinner in Santa Monica on Monday, arriving together holding hands. It is a People exclusive, which only looks like a set up paparazzi shot. No one walks in Santa Monica that late at night.
Like Yost would know more than I would.
Yeah, like I'm just like, if you're a celebrity, you're going to a restaurant, you're pulling up valet or you're parking right near the entrance, like you could see them like crossing the street. Like you're telling me Hugh Jackman paid the meter 2 blocks away from the restaurant, and they're like beautifully lit, and they're just like it. And you know what? Good for them. Like they knew. If you know, we reported on this. He got divorced a couple of years back. She got divorced, 6 months ago. And then rumors started swirling that, oh, it's because they fell in love on the set of Music Man.
He was also seen at 2 of her shows because she's in a play or something.
So it just makes me think like they obviously fell in love and they're like, okay, you need to get divorced. And then
we'll organically kind of start putting this out.
And you know what? Good for them. Like, I would have been very disappointed if Hugh Jackman showed up with like a 23-year-old around his arm.
He's age appropriate.
Yes, we love to see that. Other celebrity news, we have Dua Lipa and Callum Turner. Well, they ring in the New Year's with a kiss. The singer and the actor appeared to lock lips at midnight as the two can be seen smooching in the background of a photo in celebratory of the New Year's Eve. All this comes after speculations that the couple got engaged around Christmas Eve after Lipa, that's weird how they Lipa, posted photos of herself on Instagram wearing a diamond ring on that finger on her left hand.
I mean, smartest guy. I know collectively all the men across the world
Were
heart dropped when they found out that Dua Lipa was engaged.
I mean,
but Callum Turner, we lost one too, guys. No, yeah, good for her.
How long have they been dating?
He's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. I want to say maybe like a year or 2.
Really?
Not that long. It hasn't been that long.
I thought it was less than a year, close to a year.
I think it's like a year.
Past a year.
But I'm like, it's Dua Lipa.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Do we see her being like I'm going to marry this guy and it's going to be like, we're going to make it work, or we're going to see her be a rock star and then get divorced and then get engaged in a couple. She's still young.
I'm going to say it's going to be a long engagement, possibly.
Okay.
I don't know, because I'm like, I don't see like them being like, yeah, let's get married. I think it was like, I love you, let's get engaged.
Oh my God. Okay,
So
I could see that.
We'll see what happens with that one.
Well, I don't know how people will feel about this. We have Tommy Fury. Is it Fury, right? Yeah. And Molly May were spotted kissing at midnight during a New Year's Eve party after flirting all night, a source claimed. Things are still delicate, but they've had some long, difficult conversations over the past few weeks, and finally in a great place, Molly decided to invite Tommy fairly last minute. It was all very low key.
I don't know. Her documentary hasn't even come out yet. It's hard because, there's love there. You have a child. It was just kind of like all of this all of a sudden. But after seeing that girl brag about like sleeping with him, I would get the absolute ick. Like I would be like, never go near me again. Never go near me again. But I don't know.
I could see it being like, oh, I still have feelings for him, like blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day,
maybe like a heat of the moment type kiss.
I really hope it's that. And
Molly May, you can do this, girl. You can do better.
You could do better, way better. And then, excuse me. And then we have fans have been watching as Justin Bieber's social media activity comes into focus. I know Brenda was very shocked by this. So over the past several days, the 30-year-old entertainer has reportedly unfollowed and possibly blocked several key players who were at one point in his tight inner circle. Do I not have who? I guess I don't, but it includes his former security bodyguard, Scooter, and then this girl Hannah. I think her name.
It's a part of his team.
The team, his
but since
publicist.
these are people that he's had since he was a teenager, and I had seen that. I don't know. I need to look it up, but allegedly Scooter Braun had deactivated his Instagram.
I saw that too.
No
I haven't
idea.
verified that, but it's true. I know a lot of people on Twitter, or not Twitter, no one's on Twitter anymore, TikTok, saying that this probably means something's coming.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's, or maybe Scooter Coffee? No, yeah, I think he deactivated it. But yeah, it's very much like, okay, if he's doing this ahead of time, something is going to come down the pipeline. People are like, does it have to do with Diddy? Anything in relation to that. And then prior to this Justin unfollowing thing, during the holidays, a lot of people started noticing him and Haley were posting kind of cryptic things on their Instagram stories.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
But she was just like, you all are reading too much into it. It's not that deep. I just posted a song that I like.
Yeah, right. I'm calling BS on that. You don't do that. You don't.
We all do stuff cryptically.
Yeah, we all do that stuff, but it's not a coincidence that he posted this song about questioning a relationship, and then
his dad had said oh, I've never met somebody who tweeted something or wrote something. I never met somebody who didn't want to be a father after meeting their child or something like that. Something along those lines, and people were like, wait, what? Don't quote me. It was something in reference to that, but they're denying all of the rumors of them having an issue. And I guess we'll see what happens down the line.
Of course. Well, this next story is quite confusing, not because I disagree with it, but I thought it was Beyonce. So Taylor Swift reigns as the #1 artist on Billboard's recap of the first 25 years of the 21st century, leading Billboard's top artist of the 21st century chart based on performance on the Billboard 200 album. Okay, maybe I just answered my own question. The Billboard 200 album chart and the Billboard Hot 100 songs chart from the start of the 2000 through the end of 2024. So she is just the top artist of the 21st century charts.
But then what was Beyonce? Just the artist of the 21st century.
She is the pop star of the century. The 21st century.
Okay. Yeah, I kept seeing people in the comments guys, this is a data driven.
Where the other ranking. One is impact on culture and
oh, okay. That makes sense. But I'm not that nobody cares, but I just feel like they want to start up these little things, and I'm like, y'all just want to make people angry sometimes.
Did you guys not forget? Beyonce went to her premiere. She went to her premiere. They're okay.
Yeah, I don't think that they're trying to pit people against each other, but I'm like, this is so
confusing.
Last year, do this last year. Why are you doing this year? Like, nobody cares. I'm sorry, but nobody really cares about these little ranking things. It's interesting to talk about because you're like, wow, you know, I think third was Drake and I don't know who was second or something like that. But I'm just like, oh, I didn't realize that was that influential. But I don't know. Well, that's my opinion.
You're like, that's my opinion.
That's my thought.
I am going to stick to music, and I'm going to need your take on this. So no matter how famous he gets, the focus of Bad Bunny's music always comes back to his home of Puerto Rico, and his new record is being called his most Puerto Rican and most political album yet. I didn't write down the title, but I know you have listened to it.
Yes, I always forget the title because I don't know Spanish very well, guys. It's Debí tirar más fotos.
Debí tirar más fotos.
I love it. I am obsessed. It's literally all I listen to. Like I listen to this album on repeat, guys. Like I said, I'm not really good at Spanish, so I finally have gotten to the stage where I can, like, I know, okay, this is this song, this is this song. I have so many favorites. It's just such a good album. It feels like he took all the good, positive things from Un Verano Sin Ti and then just kind of like amplified it in this album where it's just like the music, the lyrics. I actually was last night reading the English version of the lyrics, and I'm like, I relate to some of these songs. It's just so good, but some of the songs you can tell, like, he's talking about Gabriela, or he's talking about Kendall, he's talking about Puerto Rico. Like, there's different, I love this album so much. It's such a good one.
I've listened to a couple of songs, and I love the influence of, like, salsa and, like, like, I love that.
I love seeing all the TikToks of, like, people showing their, like, fathers who are Puerto Rican, like, oh, have you heard his new album? They're like, oh, we don't care. And then they start playing the music and they just start dancing all over the place.
That.
Oh, it's gonna start popping up. Oh, the picture one is so sad too.
I'm like,
but I think this is gonna be his next like big thing. I'm really excited to see. I mean, I know El Club is his single right now, but I want to see what his next single is gonna be from this album because there's just so many bangers. It just feels like there's like slow songs that are like deep and meaningful, and of course like the party songs. Like there's a mix of the both.
I think it would be a good tour.
Yeah, but I'm like, the tickets are gonna be, I'm gonna have to be looking out for those tickets because I actually really want to go to this tour, but it's so hard. These are always so expensive. I saw somebody post on his TikTok like, you better make these tickets cheap, bro. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this album. I don't know what I can give it 1 through 5, but.
Okay. We'll circle back with you.
Yeah, we'll circle back on that.
We'll circle back and see how you're feeling after you lived with it for.
I've only been listening since Monday, guys.
Okay.
Since Monday, but yeah, I'm a huge fan.
And I love this next story. The Duchess of Sussex dropped the trailer of her new lifestyle series last week, and since then, millions have watched her cooking for celebrity friends, including Mindy Kaling and former Suits co-star Abigail Spencer. On 4 days on YouTube, the video has already reached over 1.1 million times, got 14K likes, and sparked over 38.6 thousand comments. This is part of her Netflix deal, and it's called With Love, Megan.
It's on YouTube?
Netflix. So the trailer is.
Oh, the trailer. I was like, wow, an
I
episode
think it's out
came
this
out?
week or next week. I will be watching
love cooking
it.
shows.
I love Meghan Markle. I think she's just so like comforting, and I do like the whole. This is what I don't like about people when they're like, "Oh, I thought you wanted privacy." It's like different.
It's when you let people in the way that you want to let them in.
Yeah, like this is a project. Like I'm okay with being like on TV if it's my show, but you following me down the street with like a camera down my pants, like no, thank you.
Exactly.
Like no, like that was abuse. And I think because they've always said like we wanted to serve the public, but I just think that this is such a good way. And a lot of people are like, oh, she bakes. If you ever knew, when she lived in Canada, she had The Tig, which was a lifestyle blog where she would blog recipes, going to the farmer's market. Like, it was when Suits was not popular, but it was popular in Canada, and she was, like, in the elite, socialite of Canada.
I didn't know that.
And, yeah, like, I knew about The Tig, but just recently I got a TikTok saying, like, she would write blogs about her weekends going out with, like, not with him, but like in the same friend group as like Michael Bublé and like all this stuff. So she had the TIG, and that's what it was called, and it was a lifestyle brand. And then she had to do away with it once she got more serious with Prince Harry. And then as her first charitable thing, when she came into the royal family, I don't even think she was married yet. It was when that apartment complex in like the south end of London caught fire, and it was like a low-income families lived there. She started a community kitchen with like the women that lived in that apartment complex and created a cooking book.
I think I remember that. Yeah,
so
I remember
it's
that.
like very on brand for her to be in the kitchen.
I'm honestly not shocked by the style that she chose. I feel like Meghan has always been lifestyle, like showing you lifestyle decisions, choices, food, clothing, like life. Life. I don't know. It's not shocking to me.
I will be watching. I will be copying. I might be cooking, but I feel and
I'll
I also,
cook.
yeah. And
I'll
I also
cook
feel like,
you all
thank
some food.
And it just feels like it's very comforting.
No, yeah, I love seeing Meghan Markle on my TV screen.
And it's just so weird. If you look at when it's posted on Facebook, all the comments are like, I thought you wanted privacy. Like, this girl, get her. And if you go to Instagram, it's like, yes, I love Meghan. There was a weird thing, though. So I read into it. So I was going to show our friend Chloe the trailer because she hadn't seen it. I'm like, oh, it's on Instagram. So I looked up with Love Meghan, and Instagram gave me a notice that said, what you're searching for is connected to child sexual abuse, like be warned, like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what did I type? So I looked, I'm like, I have no misspellings, whatever. I ended up finding it on YouTube. Then I found an article that like Instagram accidentally marked the hashtag with Love Meghan as like child abuse, or like it violated their policy. And then their statement said, it was a mistake, we apologize, we like fixed it.
The king.
So does Prince William work for Facebook? Like,
I don't know.
That was really weird. It was weird.
It was so hard to find that day that I saw her thing. It was so hard to find her Instagram that day.
Because she probably had so many hashtags with that.
Yeah, no,
and
it was like
shadow blocked or shadow banned?
No, yeah, I looked her up and I'm like, but she's not even on Instagram. And then I looked up on Google, and that's when it sent me the link of her page. And I'm like, wait, that's so weird. I couldn't even look her up. That's so strange.
Sue them, Meghan. They were trying to sabotage you.
They were paid a lot of money under the table.
I know. Okay, but now our last quick headline, we have Wicked director John Chu can't say too much about his upcoming Britney Spears biopic, but revealed the pop star will play a part in the creative process. Fresh off a Golden Globe win for Wicked for cinematic and box office achievement, Chu told Entertainment Tonight that much is left in the air about the film, but confirmed Spears' involvement is set in stone. I haven't really started anything fully yet. She will be very involved in this. I have ideas and things and approach of things, but it's very, very early.
I'm excited for
good news and bad news. Good news that she's involved and it's gonna, she should be happy with it. Bad news that he hasn't really started anything.
I mean, it's kind of hard because I think they're still so dead focused on Wicked.
Yeah, and then someone asked him on the red carpet, you heard about that that sequence they shot where Ethan Slater and Jonathan Bailey are like shirtless? So in the field, so so a lot of scenes were shot, like cut out, and it was supposed to be like a montage sequence of how.
I heard about a montage.
Yeah, about how Nessa, Galinda, Alphaba, Bach, and what's his name?
Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan Bailey, all truly do become close friends in college. So it's them like talking and dancing or whatever in like a field of flowers, like the one that you see kind of.
I keep seeing pictures.
And someone said that in it somehow Jonathan Bailey has his shirt off and so does Ethan Slater. But anyway, someone said, when are we, because it wasn't in the new release. And someone said,
oh, like the deleted scenes that they
it wasn't in there. So someone asked him, when are we getting the scene? And he's like, like, I know people want it, but I'm working right now on the cutting Wicked Part 2. Maybe I'm gonna use it there as a flashback or something. He's like, but I don't know. It just depends on how it goes. Like, so I'm thinking he'll save it because that's why it wasn't part of the
Oh yeah, part of part 1, or
yeah.
he might
Or
save
even at
it
the
for
deleted scene.
deleted scenes for part 2.
Yeah, something like that. But
Because it feels like they maybe shot it as like extra in case we wanted to add this kind of like flashback sequence,
Of,
like
like-
if we want to add to more to it.
'Cause
But
it
I feel like it's definitely be
probably-
something on the chopping block for
yeah,
sure.
because I think, I don't know, as a storyteller, I think that we still need that piece of like, oh, they were all really good friends, and they kind of all turn on each other.
Really quickly, one quick headline. Grace O'Malley was on a podcast recently talking about the whole Brie thing. She really didn't address the friendship. She just said that they're going through a rough patch right now, which is like Grace is handling it with grace. But she did mention like not feeling like she was compensated high enough. And I know, what's his name, Dave Portnoy got really upset by that. He made a video basically saying like, you did get compensated well, like you're making us look bad, all these things. But that's an update on that situation.
I saw that, and I guess he said how much she got paid.
Like 200,000.
Okay.
But what she said is that I think Brie got paid way more than she did.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen the clip, but someone said that she just like, oh, I got paid decent, but Brie got paid more.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just like, do you consider saying, oh, I get paid decent, like is that offensive?
But it's like, if you're comparing your situation to your counterpart,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I get paid. Like, I have a livable wage beyond means. Like, for her, it's like but like, it's obviously not to the level that my co-host had it at.
But he got all pissed off. But yeah, those are our headlines, just stories that are happening this week. Now we're gonna tackle the 3 top that we just want to dive a little bit deeper into.
I'm excited for
Let's
this
get
one.
into this engagement. Well, Zendaya and Tom Holland are engaged according to TMZ and People Magazine. Oh, I thought it was a countdown. I'm
it's
so
okay,
sorry.
It's good. You're good.
Are you
We
sure?
can keep going. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So Tom and Zendaya are rumored to be engaged. These rumors began swirling online after Zendaya attended the Golden Globes on Sunday evening, sporting a large diamond ring on her left finger. Fans and commentators were quick to circulate clips of her appearing to show off
She
the
was
new
literally
piece of
just
jewelry
doing this.
to fellow stars at the event. When the Los Angeles Times asked her about the ring that night, she reportedly smiled coyly and shrugged her shoulders mysteriously. NBC News has reached out to representatives for Zendaya and Holland. They did not immediately respond to comment on this story.
TMZ confirmed it. I think that they're just like, you all know what it is. You all know what it is. I mean, she has been wearing this ring multiple times. She's been out and about, like, doing different things for challengers as they're kind of, like, pushing it during award season. But this girl's always wearing that ring, and she's just always, like...
Yeah, and that night she was sponsored by a jewelry company that she is the image for. So she, like, kind of contractually has to wear their stuff head to toe, except for that ring. That ring was a jeweler out of London, a personal piece.
Gorgeous ring.
It's really nice.
I think I read that it's worth $200,000, which I'm like, Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Well, he just came out with his non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
And she, like, on the red carpet, people noticed that she had a tattoo right here, and they're saying that that's his initial.
Okay.
You couldn't really see the whole thing. You only see, like, the top, and you do see, like, a kind of, like, line with a cross. I thought it was, like, an anchor.
Okay,
But
it
could
looks
be a
more like an
T.
anchor.
Right, it looks like an anchor?
It does.
Okay.
Or a cross. Because it's not like line T.
Yeah,
it's like line with a little bit of
like
the...
this.
Yeah. It's like it's a cross.
I thought it was an anchor because the way it looked like it was starting to shape forward,
Okay,
like
I saw that
shape
too.
upward. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe the anchors of love.
He's my anchor.
He's my anchor, but I'm super happy for them. Imagine just, I want to know what happened. Because I think that they dated for a brief time. Then she dated Jacob Elordi.
So I think they were very like, are we something on Spider-Man, that first one? And then she's like, no, we're not, loser. And then went to Jacob
Elordi. And then maybe realized that she had feelings for Tom.
Let me get to the guy that's obsessed with me over here.
Yeah, but like they're just so perfect for
cute.
each other. Like I am so excited to like see them be like married and then have children and like.
Do you think it's gonna be a long engagement?
Oh, I think it's gonna be. Literally, they're probably gonna get married and we won't even know for like ever.
Do you even think they would even consider Vogue, like to release pictures? Nothing.
I don't think they're gonna do anything. I think they're just gonna be so low key, and then maybe like post something on Instagram once they've already been married for like a year.
Yeah. Like happy 5th anniversary, honey.
But I just love that. I think I read an article this season of the low-key engagements. Like you don't, if a celebrity gets engaged, do you know if they don't say a word? And so they're talking about Dua Lipa and Callum, and then Zendaya and Tom, how they never really actually said anything, but it's like obvious that they are. But I'm like, maybe that's the style that people are trying to go for now. There's always a trend in something.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. So, sticking, that first rumor and speculation about their engagement didn't come out during the Golden Globe while she was walking the red carpet. So now let's go over not the red carpet, just the Golden Globes in general. So the 2025 Golden Globes were full of tears, laughter, and inspiring victories, as well as some moments that made us go, huh? On January 5th, 2025, the industry's A-list arrived at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills, California, to award the Best of the Year in film and television, with Emilia Perez and Shogun winning big and taking home 4 trophies. They also granted us some best, worst, and most WTF things to talk about, whether that be host Nikki Glazer's risque opening monologue, Timothy Chalamet's polarizing facial hair, or even Vin Diesel's apparent dig at Dwayne Johnson. So let's tackle the host first.
I feel so bad. I was like, Brenda, make sure you watch the monologue. I never watched it because I got too busy reading something else, but I heard she did so well.
I think the standard was pretty low compared to last year.
Wait, who's last year's host again?
Wasn't it Joy Coy?
Roy Coy or something like that.
Coy. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yes, that's true.
So he kind of bombed to a point. Like, he was really bad, guys. Like, it's not like,
I remember it like it was just like...
It wasn't funny, but then he did the one thing you're not supposed to do, according to experts, not me, is that if a joke bombs, you're not going to say, I didn't even write that. Like, it wasn't even me. You just threw your writers under the bus. So, yeah. So she did so good. I think she prepared for it. I mean, she had been talking about, like, leading up to it, how she has a writers team. She works with the writers, 2 writers, and then the third one is her boyfriend of, like, 10 years. And they write jokes. And she said that it started months in advance, maybe like 3 months. She's like, she would write them and then go try them out to public, and then kind of go try it out until she's like, I knew what it was. And she's like, I know my roast at Tom Brady was the reason, but I can't be that harsh, and it can't be roast-like. It has to be like...
Yeah, because these people are so sensitive.
Yeah, like, you have to please the audience that's there, but the audience that's watching, it's just like, it's a gig everyone wants, but no one wants to do it.
Seems difficult.
Yeah, it seems very difficult, but there's already rumors that they would gladly have her again next year.
All of the reviews I saw were like, this is how you host these types of shows. That's why I'm like, guys, I tried watching it. It was so hard to find it. I don't want to get Peacock again. I mean, I don't want to get Paramount again because I already had it and I would have to pay. And I was like, I don't want to pay just to watch the Golden Globes. But I just really want to see it because I've just heard so many good things about...
You haven't found her monologue like on TikTok?
I have to just look it up on YouTube.
Do it on TikTok. There's like clips.
Oh, really?
Probably,
I just like have not put an effort into it. But I've seen little clips here and there that I laughed out loud at it. So... And I think, yeah, she's funny. She did really good with the Tom Brady roast, so.
That one was really good. And now the winners, again, Emilia Perez and Shogun took home the most awards. When I tell you that when Emilia Perez was winning all that stuff, I was just like, I'm done.
I need to see this movie because just based off of the clips on TikTok that are circulating, I am having a hard time understanding the decisions that are being made in these award shows right now.
It was just like...
Because, like, compare it. Have you seen The Substance?
No.
The Substance, like, was a great movie. I'm like, I really need to see Emilia Perez because I'm like, if you're gonna beat out at least the substance was
I want to see
really.
The Substance after
What other
everyone.
movies were nominated for film?
Within
Well,
Emilia?
the thing that annoys me though, it's like the whole music, comedy, and then the drama thing.
What do you want?
In the
Music, comedy, musical, or just everyone together?
I think it should be like every other award show, everything together.
Okay.
Because then they're starting to add all these things. They just want people to feel better about themselves.
Oh no, 100%. Like that achievement of cinematic
Yes,
whatever.
I'm like, you all just did that for Barbie, and then you're like, well, we can't not have it because it's weird because everyone knows we did it for a reason. So then it's like, you're just gonna give it to a blockbuster film.
Yeah.
But to be fair, blockbuster films never get any recognition, so it makes sense. But then eliminate one of those other things. Just do films, like, and then blockbuster films of the year.
Like if you reached
Like critically acclaimed and then like box office achievement. Instead of having like 3, but that's the thing with the Golden Globes. They have like a million categories.
Yeah,
just
they
to make
do.
people
And it
feel
just
better.
sucks that like Wicked isn't getting the respect it deserves because it's so like mainstream and it's just like, oh, what, the Golden Globes are going to give it to like a movie that had cake pops and Barbies and cups and sweaters, where Emilia Perez is like this like artsy, like deep, like you wouldn't understand because you don't know art.
I think it's also because it's the topic and, you know, what it involves, and people want to be like, we're not going to exclude something that has a topic matter that people are very much wanting to bring to the forefront. But I'm like, okay, I'm not going to negate the fact that you all brought to the forefront a very important topic, but that doesn't mean your movie was good.
No, and it's actually getting a lot of criticism, the fact that they're not bringing these subjects to light in a, not even a negative, but just in a realistic way. For example, I've read a lot that like the LGBTQ community is very upset the fact that it's a story about a cartel leader who transitions into a woman. And now because she transitioned, it's like like we should all forgive the bad things that, and they're like, we shouldn't portray trans people. It's like that person's out to be forgiven.
Yeah,
if that
for
makes sense.
all their past
For all their
indiscretions.
past. And then it's also, how are we easily going to forgive someone that was like a cartel leader? Like we're
Just because
glamorizing. Just because now they're part of the LGBT.
I'm like, who wrote this story?
And
I
it's
just
just a
want
lot.
to like understand.
I do find it interesting that Emilia Perez, it did win the foreign writing one too, but it was under like, it says like foreign, Mexico, France. It says what country you're representing, and it was France.
Because wasn't the director
director's
French? And then the actors are speaking Spanish?
It's a lot.
And I know like a lot of people, obviously in the Latin community, are also upset that they didn't really cast within the Latin community. I mean, I know that Selena Gomez is
Getting the forefront of that.
Hispanic,
Yeah, she's
Mexican-American.
descent.
but it's like there's people that actually know Spanish that, and we already had this discussion.
We had this
about,
conversation, but I didn't say this during the last conversation. I'm glad we're able to say this. Another thing that I thought of was that if it was the other way around, someone's trying to speak English like that, they wouldn't have been so welcomed or given that opportunity.
It was just, but I'm glad Zoe Saldana is getting some recognition for her acting.
No, but it wasn't even her best work. Like,
I'm like, the only thing is like, I'm happy a lot of the people that won are actors that have not really gotten that type of like accolade recognition. It's happy to see that, but I just really think that they weren't thinking as much as the performance. I think they were thinking more of like, how can people accept us and our decision? And it's if obviously we go with something that's, I don't know.
It was just trying.
I'm trying to explain it in the best way possible. I hope you all understand.
And now let's talk about the people that were in the room. And of course, the girl that stood out for me was Miss Kylie Jenner.
Yes.
She was just like the it, like she was just like the
girl of the room.
Perfect thing. Like this thing of her, like, this is his moment. I'm a +1. But if you ask me who I am, I'm a freaking billionaire at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Her dress, gorgeous. It was a nod to Elizabeth Hurley when
It was
she
a Versace
chain dress, and she just looks so good. I think the fact that she sat next to Elle Fanning and Monica something, or Barbara. I don't
I
know.
forgot her name.
I think it was just the cutest thing ever because
She was so cute with them, and what she posted on like Instagram, it wasn't Timmy. It was like girls' night
Yeah.
and all these things.
I think the fanning girls are just the cutest thing ever.
Oh yeah, I love them. But what I saw this TikTok, which I really do agree with. You know, a lot of people kind of say like, "Oh, Kylie doesn't deserve to be in these rooms because they classify her as like a woman with accentuating features. She has like all these things. They classify her as just of her appearance, and they don't really take to value the fact that she's a businesswoman and she's gotten to this point. They just see her as the reality star. But it's like, it was kind of, somebody said it's similar to Pamela Anderson, where people never showed her respect because of based on the way she looked, and then now she's receiving respect down the line. It's like people are just kind of go based off of what they think of a person, and
I do agree that's what happened to Pamela, but at the end of the day, Pamela was trying to be in it, where she's just a plus one. Like,
Oh, yeah.
as long as Timothy respects her, like, that's who she's dating. It's not like she's
But
like...
people just are like being like, why is Kylie there? She doesn't deserve to be there. She doesn't. But it's like she's
a date.
She's not trying to like become an actress or anything. That's Kim. But
yeah,
it's just people just go based off of the fact of the way she looks. She doesn't deserve to be dating Timothée Chalamet because he's an artsy fartsy whatever actor. But I'm like, this guy knows like football strategy and all this stuff. He's just a regular guy.
I need to literally post that clip of like him being like a dorky kid, and then her. Remember in the early Kardashian episodes where she's like super weird?
Yeah.
Like they're the same person.
And they just think that because they just have a different perception. Yeah, I don't know. But I thought it was so cute. I'm happy to see that they actually have like a long term. I mean, this is her second time being his date to an award show.
Yeah, it's been more than 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. They've been together for like 4 years, I think. So I'm like, people just act like, oh, what a like crazy.
I love the fact that she just sits in, like she doesn't walk the red carpet. She just goes in and sits with him.
No, yeah, I thought it was really cute. Who else? There was a big date night.
I love Sofia Vergara. I think she should have won for her. It's like lead actress in a series.
Oh, I don't know
when she it's that Cartel one too. When she loses, she's like. Like, she gets all mad, but it's obviously, like,
yeah.
jokes. Who else was there? Benny Blanco was there with Selena.
Yes.
They got made fun of by Nikki Glaser.
They expected it, though. I mean, I think we all did.
Yeah. I mean, if she didn't, I'd be like, huh. Leighton Meester and Adam Brody, we love to see them there. Sebastian Stan. You know,
yeah, they're exes.
I did not recognize who Adrian Brody, girlfriend is, or partner. Georgina from Marquez, who used to be married to Harvey Weinstein. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Really?
She was super blonde. She's usually a brunette. I didn't recognize her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that. But I forget that Sebastian Stan Leighton Meester used to date for years, and she was sitting right behind him, and you could see her clapping for him.
So one of the blind items on the internet says that him, like, saying thank you to his girlfriend and declaring his love was not planned. Like, his publicist told him, like, just thank your family kind of thing. But he went on that tangent because he got jealous to seeing his ex so happy with, like...
Come on, it's been
years, but I think it probably still stings
another
a little.
ex spotting was, well, first of all, Emma Stone debuted a new pixie cut.
Yes.
And she was seen photographed next to Andrew Garfield.
No, I can't. I like scrolled so fast and I saw that.
Everyone's like the same night that Zendaya like shows off her ring is the night that Emma and Andrew are back together again.
I just can't. If I was her husband, I'd be like, talk.
But you know what is so sad is like you go from these award shows and then the next day your home is just like burned down.
I know, for like...
That's what I was like thinking. Like I was like, that's so traumatic, dude. Like
all the glam and money can't even fix that. But yeah, let's not get too depressed.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, the main story that we've been wanting to tackle is Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. Again, just a small recap of what has happened.
Court is in session.
And I don't have a lot of information. I mean, like, I'm not going to go into it, but I'm just going to lead it up. The Monday before Christmas, Blake files a complaint to
Very
the California
word.
Labor something agency, claiming that there were sexual harassment allegations from her from working on the set, and that when she brought them up, everyone met saying that, like, okay, everyone needs to behave, and everyone signed a contract saying that everyone was going to behave and that no one was going to go against Blake or retaliate against her because she's the one who sounded the alarm on these, like, bad behaviors. We'll then come to find out that she discovered that there was a smear campaign led, all this is allegedly, by Justin's publicist, and she's claiming that that is considered retaliation, and she thinks that she was targeted by Justin Baldoni and his team because she brought forward these bad behavior on set.
Mind you, it's a complaint, so you don't actually have to provide evidence to the contrary.
It's just like, oh, he said, she said. The thing is that the day it became public that she had filed this, the New York Times also came out with an article, meaning that they had a preview to everything that was going to be filed. So they came, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's shocked. Everyone, of course, like, if you know me, I was Team Justin for when, just the basic drama that we knew. We didn't come on here, but I said, it just doesn't sit well with me, but if sexual harassment is really happening in the workplace, that needs to be, like, addressed immediately. But I find it weird that the most important topic is allegations of sexual harassment at the workplace. Why isn't Sony Pictures being sued or mentioned in this complaint? Technically, they're also part of
They're facilitating the workplace.
Yeah, why aren't they being mentioned? And also, why are you only mentioning sexual harassment now that you know that, making it public now that you think that they went against you? So if everything would have been okay, you would have never brought this forward. Like, that was just like, you're Blake Lively. Like, if you...
You can sound like... If it was that serious, you would have sounded the alarm a long time ago.
I think it's more of like, if it was, these sexual harassment stuff is actually happening, the whole studio would have sided with you. Ryan Reynolds would have made
that's why it would have been, the movie wouldn't have been even finished, because it would have been, if it was actually like bad, they would have just stopped production, and there would have been an internal investigation.
So then she kind of outlines in her complaint stuff like, they would just walk in to my trailer when I was breastfeeding. He would have referred to things as sexy, like, your outfit's sexy, this and this. That's one of the producers, which is the co-producer with Justin. He showed her a pornographic video of his wife to her. Now, everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe Justin's a monster, like, blah, 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 blah. Then comes Chris, no, when did Justin?
It must have been
right before
the week of New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Justin files a lawsuit against New York Times for coming out with this article that only, in their terms, only was one-sided and had cherry-picked information. And being a lawsuit, they had to show evidence. So he showed all these text messages.
I read it. It's so good.
She had also shared text messages, but if you compare the text messages,
things are like blurred out in hers.
Blurred out, and like his
the
allegedly
full context.
Isn't. And, I always say that, yes, he does never deny any of the doings, but there's always, like, an explanation. Like, oh, she says we barged into her dressing room while she was breastfeeding. Here's the text message where she says, come in here, I'm breastfeeding.
I'm breastfeeding, but let's go over lines.
Let's go over lines. Or like, hey, let's add this beanie to my outfit because
it'll be sexier because I have a crop top, and it's going to be... I would definitely stop that woman on the street because she looks cute.
So unfortunately, even like in the court, as like experience, she has set the precedent to use those terms. Like, hey, she used sexy, I could use sexy. Did it make her feel uncomfortable? Maybe afterwards, but at the end of the day, he had no knowledge not to do so because she was using the same term.
She was opening the door to the terminology that he then took the football and ran with it.
Yes.
As far as like the pornographic video outlined, it's one of the producers, he was like, well, because we didn't have an intimacy coordinator, they also pointed that out. She mentioned that there was no intimacy coordinator. there's a clear text that shows Blake being like, I'll meet with her. Or,
we start filming.
Once we start filming, and then he says, I don't think that she wants to meet. So then he had to go ahead and relay things. The person was showing him a video of his wife's birthing, so that way they could take that in consideration as to how they wanted to do the birthing scene as an option of like, this was an example of how you could potentially do it, and that he had permission from his wife to share that video.
So it's my understanding that the big like thing is like, well, that meeting that they had where they all agreed that they were all going to behave, like they are admitting guilt to that, saying that they were misbehaving. And according to Justin Baldoni's team, it says that conversation, like that meeting, I don't know if he said it wasn't had, like a meeting wasn't technically had, but the whole like, hey, these are her demands, and they're kind of like, okay, yeah, we don't do that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, we agree.
It was a document, and it was before they came back from the writers. I had read the document right before. They came back from the writer's strike, and it was basically like an thing that said terms for something. And they're like, okay, well, yeah, we'll follow her demands.
It said like her demand was have an intimacy coordinator. They're like, well, we have one, no problem. This and this. She's like, okay, yeah, like we are meeting. They never said we have to now meet the demands, and they claim that for them it was like, we are meeting the demands, she's gonna be back filming. I mean, and there's just like a lot of
the messages are like, if you all like juicy like stuff, I mean, it's a court document, but it's easy to digest because a lot of it's very evidence based, and they show text messages.
I think it's written that purposely so people
can read it themselves. It's really easy to get through the text messages, guys, and it shows you back and forth what they submitted in that complaint versus the actual full context message. This is all alleged because these are, you know, claims and whatever. But man, she, according to the evidence they presented, she took over that project, and it's very sad to see that, you know, the editors and all them were like, we're super sad about it. But constantly you see Justin being like, you know what, we can't let this get us. We're gonna continue just put out the message, like the reason why we're doing this is for the survivors, and like we got to keep that going. But also like with the premiere, like it's just
that's crazy.
Wild. They were kept in like a basement, separated.
And
they couldn't.
True, like they were separated.
It's just the craziest. I am, and so his attorney did an interview with Megyn Kelly this week, and Megyn Kelly basically asked, like, are you going to be suing? Are you going to be suing Blake Lively? And he said, quote, into oblivion.
Yeah.
That just shows. They have videos. We just heard the voice memo of him on the premiere night basically saying, like, we were kept in the basement, like this was supposed to be a big night for us, and it wasn't. It's so fascinating to me.
And a lot of it, it's like, you know, he claims about, like, he had to meet with Ryan and Blake, and that, like, Ryan, like, mistreated him and all this thing. And there is this thing, like, a source close said that Ryan didn't, like, berate him. He just spoke sternly. I'm sorry, your husband shouldn't be at your work business meetings. Like, that's
and that
just
his Ryan's editors were the ones that took over, because Blake eventually got Sony to give her all of the, not the rights, but to let her steer the ship. And so it was basically saying, like, we haven't even seen the cut. We're going to be seeing the cut the premiere night. Our editing was taken out. It's now Ryan Reynolds' editors that were working on the rest of the project.
Yeah, and they would, like, it was just crazy because he said that he kept, like, the first thing was him asking how much she weighed due to that stunt they wanted to do. He had a bad back. He wanted to know how much she weighed. It got back to her, and she claimed this body shaming thing. According to him, like, he went to apologize, like, that was not my intention, yada, yada, yada. That's when her claim of, like, he would come into my dressing room and cry. He's like, the most emotional I think I got was that when she gave me a compliment about my directing, and I thought she was being genuine, and I teared up, but now I don't think that was genuine. He says this in the thing. And then I think that was the moment that he knew that if he didn't comply to all her requests, it was going to be leaked that she left the film, because it was always like, I want this, if not, I'm not filming. And that if she would have eventually left the film, it would have been like, oh, it's because he fat shamed her. So that's why he claims that he would agree to everything and just really let go of his, like,
a lot of times in the messages it said it feels like they're holding something over me. And it's like, well, they have more power. I mean, yeah, with Sony and them,
and
like,
a lot
it's
of
like,
lawyers have like obviously commented on it, and they kind of say that like to prove sexual harassment at work is really really hard. Like,
but even the complaints that were filed with HR, they laid out one of them, and one of them was an employee feeling like another person got a job because of ageism. Like, those were the HR complaints that they were being referred to.
oh yeah, she said it
Like,
was her.
multiple HR complaints from staff were filed to Wayfair, but it's like one of the complaints was about ageism because somebody didn't get a grip job. Like, but they're just claiming. But with that complaint, you don't have to show evidence. You just make statements, blanketed statements, without proof. And so the suing of the New York Times, as you said, was super smart because, well, first of all, New York Times, just going based off of that complaint, like, guys, I don't know, you kind of shot yourselves in the foot. Like, I'm curious what type of evidence, aside from the complaint, they presented them. If it was those blurry text messages, it's like, come on.
That's all you did.
Come on.
Yeah. The other thing is, I know they reached out to Justin for comment on it, and they said like, no thanks. But I'm assuming they should have been like, hey, she's alleging this. What do you have to say about
They reached
that?
out for comment. They gave them 10 hours, and then they said they published the story 2 hours prior to the actual deadline.
Okay.
That's what was in the complaint.
In the complaint. The other thing is, it's very smart in my opinion, because you're kind of like strong-arming New York Times to either, you know, if they truly believe that they did their due diligence of looking through all these text messages and they gave all, you know, all the facts, they're easily gonna give up their proof of like, hey, this is what Blake. If something's not adding up, there's a big chance they could throw Blake Lively under the bus and be like, well, this is what she provided us. Like, in good faith, we didn't like try to tarnish, question or tarnish him. It was this girl that was feeding us, this is all allegedly, feeding us bad information. So it would be easier to prove some publication that holds such big power to like libel, like being liable, slander, all this stuff, where someone that's an individual on another individual, it's a little harder. Which if they were to win their New York Times lawsuit, I believe his attorney said that would be used in the evidence with a lawsuit against her personally. So it now becomes like evidence to prove their point that she was actively.
He got some really great attorneys.
So yeah, so this girl, I don't remember her name, but he was the attorney for this girl who sued ESPN and Disney, and he won. It was like a worker thing.
Well, I mean, honestly, no attorney is going to say, I'm going to sue them into oblivion lightly.
Oh, but did you kind of get the message when he's like, if we need to release all the text messages, we'll release them? It was like, I felt like that was a shockwave meant to go down Blake Lively's spine and give her a chill, because it's like, girl, what else were you saying in these text messages that not necessarily add to the allegations, but add to your kind of character.
Like you're going to character assassinate yourself based on all of the text messages.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I will say the last thing that has happened.
It makes me so happy. It doesn't make me happy.
It's like juicy.
It's interesting.
Yes. So not only have Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's lawyer taking their claims, and she has now filed a lawsuit about what they said happened on the set of It Ends With Us to legal courts. They're also hashing things out in the court of the public opinion. Shortly after Baldoni and his production company's lawyer, Brian Friedman, did a primetime interview Monday with Chris Cuomo on News Nation about the lawsuit against New York Times. Lively's lawyers have put out a statement to people, right? That criticize the classic tactic Baldoni's legal team has used to distract from Lively's allegations of on-set sexual harassment and retaliation. Ms. Lively's federal litigation before the Southern District of New York involved serious claims of sexual harassment and retaliation backed by concrete facts. This is not a feud arising from creative differences or a he said, she said situation.
Now, if there was sexual harassment, we're in no way condoning it. I mean, obviously, we don't know what happened on that set. Only they and the cast and the actors know what happened.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. It's just so wild. I don't know. It's just like...
I feel like if you're going to come to light with these allegations, that's a crime. Like, go report it it's not like you need the money for it to be a civil case and sue him for money to.
Yeah.
It's very crazy. And then we get into the whole Deadpool thing that I can't even get into that, guys. But it's
you want me to
crazy.
say it?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, basically, people are saying that, you know, in the midst of them shooting It Ends With Us, they're also shooting Deadpool Wolverine, and that the scenes where, what was the name
Nice
of?
Pool.
Nice Pool, where he's making comments like, oh, I'm a feminist who has a podcast that talks about it, and he has long hair and a man bun, and they're just, people are speculating that he was poking fun at Justin Baldoni in that movie because it was in the middle of this kind of shitstorm that was going on in real time in their lives.
It's quite interesting, even if you can't prove that it was Justin Baldoni's like inspiration. You can prove that they were making fun of intimacy coordinators and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which then questions is like, as a husband, why would you make fun of a topic that's so distressful for your wife and for the public to see? So it's just like, guys.
And then the attorney also mentioned that that in the next, I think they're going to work on another lawsuit, and that the next one is going to involve Ryan Reynolds. So I don't know. He was seen this week or 2 days ago at an event, and he looks
not good.
Thin, very thin.
He looks stressed.
He looks stressed out, and I would be stressed out too because, you know, you had this summer of like they were on a high. And now their just name is just so badly tarnished. Like, ooh.
Like,
but even like the whole thing about how they were attacking the publicists over their statements about we're going to bury her, all these things. Like, I mean, they never, according to their text message, they never actually planted anything. And a lot of the thing was organic reactions to previous statements she has made in previous interviews and how she was promoting the film. We even discussed it, the way she was promoting your film, bring your florals, bring your friends, like nothing to do with domestic violence. But you kind of just shot your own foot and then got upset that people were upset that your reputation was tarnished because of who you are. And people are more, this is the more woke generation now. So people.
And they will look up things.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just so fascinating. I think this is just like, not a precedent, but it's like, wow, like people really
Can someone
going
file a
head to
lawsuit in
head.
the same court Johnny Depp and Amber Heard filed? Because I need this to be televised. And that was like Johnny Depp's thing. Like they purposely filed in that specific court because in that state you could televise it, and they knew they would, whether he won or lost, the legality of it, they knew that they could sway the public opinion.
It's gonna get good, and like I said, I implore you to read those documents. They're very interesting. You can do your own research on that. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes next.
Do you think Blake Lively thought the Swift effect was going to back her up?
Possibly. I think she had a little too much faith that she's Taylor Swift's friend. But I'm like, maybe Tree should have been consulting with you, because I think a lot of people would have told you, do not do it.
Yeah. Like,
do not do it. I don't think you're going to win, because look at how, I don't think you're going to sway. I think she swayed people for a couple of days. But then people were still like, I don't know, like something doesn't, like how you said, something doesn't feel right about it all.
Yeah, because it just doesn't. It never did. And I'm talking about the allegations of power, right? Like who had more power in the set? Like you did. Again, misconduct and maybe proper protocols of intimacy coordinators weren't followed, or maybe they were, but like they both have receipts, and now it's up to like the public to decide who's right and who's wrong. And unfortunately,
well, they said they're willing to go to a jury trial, right?
He is. He is. He was pushing for a jury trial, and I don't think it's gonna look good. Because for their thing, even if they were to lose against New York Times, you just not only threw New York Times under, like you planted the seed to question their reporting and their journalism credibility, but you're also now like, it's the public opinion is what matters in the big scope of your career, right? However,
you could lose or win the lawsuit, but how people are going to take it is...
Because it's not illegal to be a diva on the set. It's not. Like, she could do everything she wants and, like, treat people poorly or whatever it may be, she's being accused. But if you find a way to legally just expose her as a bad character, but you still lose your lawsuit, is it really a loss? Like, it isn't.
I mean, regardless, I think that I think people were getting over it and were moving on with their lives.
And they had totally forgotten.
She just had to bring it back up. Like, it's
I
like beating a dead
forgotten.
horse.
And honestly, like, I was always Team Justin, but even after the movie, I bought her hair products because I'm like, they smell good. She's a it girl.
Like people literally, like, they didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just I think she just couldn't sit with the fact that people don't think that she is as perfect as they originally thought she was. And it's like, let people just see a crack in your armor. It's fine. It makes you more human. But you just had to like, I don't know.
And then
I don't know.
Colleen Hoover. That's a whole nother
Colleen
thing.
Hoover and then the cast joining in. I mean,
No one has really joined in. Well,
they shared the New York Times article when
Colleen and Brandon
and Jenny.
And Jenny did too? Okay. Their comments came out when it was just a New York Times article, which I don't think Colleen would switch, but I don't know, maybe. Brandon was always in my eyes in the middle, where Jenny was totally like Blake Lively. We'll see. But yeah, that's a recap. We try to catch you up with all the stuff that had happened leading up to the end of 2024, but now we're in 2025 and we're excited to launch this season. Oh my God, you're right.
We have a quick review because I can't really detail everything that happened in this movie, but we can just
about a review.
We're gonna do a review.
I was
really
just so
quickly.
into Blake and Justin that it just took everything out of me. But we both went to see Nosferatu this week, right? You went this week?
I went last week.
Yeah, last week.
But we saw it recently when it came out. I'm actually surprised Jocelyn saw it because she's not a scary movie fan.
Like, seriously, I did it for Chloe. Like, you and her have something in common, which you guys love scary movies, and you loved it. And our friend Chloe had just been talking about this movie, and I'm like, you know what? She sat with you through 3 hours of Taylor Swift.
And Wicked.
Well, she liked Wicked.
But that's true. She does like Wicked.
Taylor Swift, even though she left like 3 times during the Taylor Swift concert, but I'm like, I could do this for her. It was one review on TikTok that got me. It was a girl like, my review as a scaredy cat who went to watch Nosferatu. The girl said, it's like a gothic romance horror. Yeah. Like, it's scary. There's a couple jump scares in there, but nothing like crazy.
No, it wasn't so bad.
And then she said, because most of them, except for the first one, which now I know it's true, most of them you see it coming. The other thing is that if you don't like blood and gory, like that's kind of a turn off, which I wasn't. She said, if you don't like exorcism stuff, there's a lot in it. However, unlike what you think of exorcism, which is like the devil versus the God and stuff like that, which is kind of scary, this is like a vampire possessing a girl, and you kind of know vampires aren't real, so it's not that big of a deal. So I said, okay, let's do it. I went in there, and I enjoyed. I thought it was like very beautifully done.
Yes, beautifully shot. I just, somebody said this, but instead of making it like a black and white movie, they just really honed in on those tones of gray, like dark, blue. It was just so beautiful. Like you just felt like you were in this like dirty pits of London,
Germany.
Germany. I don't know.
I think that's what I was scared of. That how like that Game of Thrones effect where you're like, what is happening?
Oh no, that you
Never.
could actually visually see what was going on. Robert Eggers, great director. I think he did really good with The Witch. I like his style of directing. What would you give it 1 out of 5?
Okay. I'm going to say a 3.7. Like close to 4. The only thing for me was just like the kids part. Like that took me over the edge.
That was like, wow.
Like, was that necessary?
I think that was necessary because it was establishing he's a vampire that will do anything. Because before you're kind of like, whatever, I don't really care about that. But when you see the kids get killed, you're like, all right, guy, come on.
Come on, you really love her, huh? The only thing I know that, spoiler, but the reason that they're like attached to each other is because she called out for him. I think my question is, I would have loved to know more about, or something more about like her childhood. What made her so dark? Is it like a family curse? Is it that she's just emo and she's just like radiates that need for like darkness? Like it kind of made it seem like she needs darkness.
It's just kind of scary because it's just like, you just ask for the middle of the night, can I just have anybody? And then like,
and I'm just like, what if
Nosferatu?
I'm praying? Like, what if I'm praying and then Nosferatu
I
is
know,
like,
right? Like, I got you, girl. No, yeah, I'm like, that just kind of makes me want to be special with my words. Like, I'm not going to say anything in the dead of night anymore.
Yeah.
I would give it a 4. I mean, I thought there was moments where I was just kind of like, all right.
I did check my phone
kinda
for
dragging.
the time 2 times, and that's bad. When I check my phone,
Yeah.
what time it is, I was just like, is this?
I was just like, what, is this gonna end anytime
Yeah.
soon? That's why I'm like, it wasn't perfect, but I have to say, like, I think it was perfect casting. I think everyone kind of like really brought their own thing. Somebody was, I don't know who it was saying like, I'm kind of iffy about Aaron Taylor Johnson. I mean, I didn't like the guy. I mean, I wasn't a super fan of him, but I'm like, isn't that the point? Like, you don't want to like his character.
Oh, the character?
Which I'm like,
okay.
I mean, you do your job as being a guy that's not unlikable, that's unlikable, whatever. But I have to say, Lily Rose Depp, girl, you killed it. Girl, you murdered that.
No, like
Not only yourself,
Lily
sorry.
Rose,
Spoiler.
Lily
You
Rose,
killed it.
like I am so proud of you.
Oh yeah, great. I mean, I've never really seen Lily Rose Depp in anything other than
I hadn't.
The Idol,
And just clips. I never watched.
which I
an
was like,
episode.
it wasn't a good show,
She
but
was just like a pop
I'm
star.
like, great job, like, girl, you got this.
The body, like the I guess
When
the,
she starts like convulsing, I'm like, whoa.
just everything that's just like wow. Like,
She embodied
did
that.
it.
But I have to say, give this man an Oscar. Bill Skarsgård.
Oh yeah,
Is his name Bill?
Scars.
Is his name Bill Skarsgård? Bill Skarsgård, you deserve an Oscar, man, from this, not just from this role, but he just really is so good at embodying his characters. Like, he went to an opera singer literally to just get the voice. Like, your dedication to the role, like, I don't know, he did phenomenal. I love that guy. Love him. But yeah, it was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Good
if
watch.
you like horror movies, definitely watch it. If you like that emo gothic romance somewhere in there, I think I would watch it. If you're a scaredy cat but you're still like attracted to it, like I am. The first jump scare is within the first 2 minutes of the movie because you don't know what you're expecting. You will jump, but all the other jump scares, when you're like, is there about to something is gonna happen, so just be prepared. It's very noticeable. But yeah, it was a great movie, and I know the director is gonna do now. He's gonna direct the remake of the Labyrinth.
Ooh, that's gonna be good. But I already know, I can envision what he's gonna.
It was just a great casting. Even like the secondary characters, like they're usually
Emma Green.
like
Yeah, no, they did. Everyone was great. Willem Dafoe, like, perfect casting. Good movie, good holiday flick. Just kidding.
I'm like, great Christmas movie.
Great Christmas film. All
But
right.
yeah, that's a wrap now for sure, guys.
That's a wrap for sure.
That's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Watching. Make sure to tune in next week with a new episode. If not, follow us on Instagram at Pop Off the Clock. You'll find our links there to our Instagrams as well.